Hello. So hi all, welcome to my channel again. And today we are going to talk about one of the most important Python concepts that are also used in the object-oriented programming. And this particular concept is called as the constructor. Uh, so, what is a constructor, and why do we use it? So basically, constructor is a special method in Python that automatically runs when we create an object from a class, right? So in Python, the constructor is underscore underscore init. That is something that you would most commonly see in all the Python codes, and it is used to initialize the object variables, right? So what is the syntax of a constructor? The syntax of a constructor looks something like this, that a method is declared with an init, which is also a dunder or a double underscore method. So double underscore init double underscore along with the self, and then followed by the body of the constructor, which we are going to discuss later in the section, right? So constructors are generally used for instantiating an object, right? And this will also help you in initializing the values for the data members of a class, right? So basically, when we declare another functions inside a particular class, then we can call the default constructors, or basically if you have parameterized it, then you call it through the parameterized constructors, where you can constantly change the values, right? So basically in the default constructors you have the same value, whereas in the parameterized constructor, as per the parameters that you pass for the particular class, those particular parameters are going to go for string function, and then from there these are going to take into effect through the dunder the parameterized constructor, which is def underscore underscore init underscore underscore, right? So basically, the parameterized constructor takes its first argument as reference to the instance which is being constructed, known as self, and then rest of the arguments are provided by the programmer. So as you are already know that in the last session we talked about the self keyword, right? So if I remind you, so basically the self keyword uh, is something that is widely adopted convention, and basically it is used to refer uh, to an instance, right? So basically that is why the self is used. And now we are going to talk about the uh, types of constructors that we are basically going to see in this particular video. So the first constructor that we are going to talk about is the default constructor, right? So as you can see, this is one of the examples, right? I've just created this example. So I have created the class with my name, and then I have declared a def underscore init, and then we have called it, right? And we have called it using the other class, that is print Divakar, right? And from print Divakar we have called first the self keyword, which is basically the first argument for any method inside a class, and then we create the object of the class, right? So uh, this is the object of the class, right? So this is basically creating the object, and then once we create the object of the class, we use this to call a particular method inside that particular class. So through this particular object we created for the class Divakar Sharma, we basically called the function print Divakar, right? So it will go first over here in the object, and in the object it is going to go over here, which is the print Divakar, right? Now from here it will go to the uh, it is going to call the default constructor, right? So basically it is going to the that self, right? And it is going to call Divakar. So basically this is the default constructor. It is going to call this self dot Divakar, and the value Divakar will be printed over here, right? So if I run it, let's not see other programs which are also run over here, but I will just showcase it to you, right? So you can see that currently we have call this particular variable, right? Let me showcase it again. If you just want to see the total output or the clean output just for this one, let me hash out the complete thing that we have written over here, right? And let me remove this because this can cause problem. Yeah, okay. So now let me run it. Okay, just give me a moment. Sorry, I hashed out this one also, made a mistake. Yeah, now you can see that the once the object was called, it displayed the keyword Devakar from here, right? So that is how basically your default constructors will behave. So always remember, constructor is a special method in the Python that automatically runs whenever you create an object from a class. So when you are creating an object, the default constructor uh, or the constructor will automatically run, right? So once this object is created, it is going to run the default constructor that is going to be inside this class, right? Now let's hash this out and let's talk about the other ones, that is the parameterized constructor, which is the other part. Now what is the difference between the uh, default and the parameterized constructor, right? Now as you can see, uh, there are some variables that we have declared over here, right? And again the constructor will get invoked once we create the object of the class, right? But here you would see in the bottom when we are creating the object of the class addition, right? And in this addition class, then we are calling uh, the first number, the second number, right? 2000. So basically what we are going to get is object.calculate. So it is going to go to object.calculate and it is going to give you the addition of first number, which is 1000, and the addition of the second number, right? So that is object.calculate, and in the display it is going to display you the first number, the second number, and the addition of two numbers, right? So let us hash out so that we can see pinpointed results, right? Let me do that. Yeah, and now we are going to see the result of this particular snippet, right? Right. So how come this is different than the parameterized constructor? You can see the default constructor that you call here, the value will always, it is going to be the same, right? To be different, right? So let's say I put up 2000 over here and then I put up 4000 over here, and the value is going to get changed, right? Earlier the value was 1000, 2000, result was 3000, now the result is 6000, right? So in the parameterized constructors the value keeps on changing, right? Now another example, uh, we'll just quickly go through that because I believe that's not required. Let me open these all, or maybe we can cover them. uh, okay, let me cover them first. So this is another example where we are parameterizing the constructor, but it is the other way around. Like it's not the int variables we are calling the it's not the int over here, but it's the variables or the characters we are calling over here, right? So basically we have declared an object. This is going to automatically run the constructor, and then from here we are just passing the car, calling the car, and then we are calling. So this is another way you can call directly this particular class and then pass the variables accordingly, right? So it will go, the brand will become as Tata and the model is going to become as Nexon. So once you run this, you will get Tata Nexon, right? Let me run this. Right, you got Tata Nexon over here, right? uh, and let's we are closing up to the wrap up points, right? So let me quickly go down. So now the last question is, can the Python have multiple constructors? Yes, Python can have multiple constructors, the Python does not support the multiple constructor support. So many languages will support the concepts of multiple constructor, but in the Python it basically does not support the multiple constructors, right? But we can simulate it using the default arguments of the class methods, right? Let me hash them out because they are going to cause problem. Okay, this one, and this one, right? Let's open them. So what you can see over here is class method, right? So basically the class method in Python is a type of a method that is, bind to the uh, um, that is bind to the class itself rather than to the instance of the class, and it operates on the class and its attributes, not to the attributes of a specific object, right? So the declaration is done through the this particular way, like at the name at the rate of class methods, right? So you can see that we called the constructors two-way, like here we did a p1 is equal to person Divakar, and then we did person from upper Divakar, right? So basically over here, like we are trying to create multiple constructors, right? We do not have this opportunity in Python. We do not have this, you can say privilege to create multiple constructors in Python, but we can use it using the default arguments of the class method. So here we have done it through the class method, right? Now what happens over here is that, when we say p1 person, right, and then we call this value, then it is going to call this particular constructor, which is the self name. But then it is also going to treat the from upper as a constructor, and then you can instantiate your variables that you're passing over here. So basically what it is going to do is it is going to return the name in upper format. So here you will get the name. When you call this particular person, it will go to the init and it is going to call the personal name as Divakar, right? But when you call this person from upper, then what it is going to do is, see, you can see that this is the first variable CLS, right? And then the class method gets called, and once the class method is called, it will transform the name that it has taken Divakar from here. It will go into this particular argument, and from this argument it will be converted to the upper case. So this Divakar is going to get displayed as this one. Let me change it over here, right, like this, and then it will be like this, right? So this is the example, right? So let me do this, then let us run this. You see the difference, right? So the other way, when if you have the need of calling the multiple constructors, as Python does not have the privilege to support multiple constructors, you can simulate it using the class methods, right? So that is one of the ways. So with this we actually wrap up our today's session for constructor. Hope you liked it, and um, uh, we will bring up more good videos. I would request you to provide with your suggestions if there are anything that you would like to learn in Python, and then we can talk about it, discuss about it, or even we can try to code. I am not currently putting up the manual codes because that takes a lot of time and it increases the length of the video. But if there is a requirement that people would like to see me code or write the coding steps, that will be helpful as a feedback to me. Thank you.